Ramsons, or wild garlic, is one of the most abundant wild foods available to forage here in the UK. In late April, early May, you'll find it carpeting the entire forest floor in deciduous woodlands. It's pretty easy to identify, as it grows in such profusion that it's hard to get it confused with anything else, in my opinion. Although I guess there are the botanically challenged amongst us, so I'm not accepting any responsibility for mistaken identity. It's said that lords and ladies can be confused with Ramsons, but I think you'd have to be pretty special to make that mistake. Maybe you should stick to going to the supermarket for your food in that case. There's also the bright white flowers that are hard to mistake for anything else really. Some add these to salads, but I prefer the green leaves, which make an amazing pesto. Take a youngster with you and introduce them to foraging. I think it's important to pass on these skills to the next generation. Anything to get them away from their screens, in my humble opinion, is a good thing. To make wild garlic pesto, you'll need a food processor, cashew nuts, Italian hard cheese such as Parmesan or Grana Padano, a good olive oil, and a large bunch of garlic leaves, of course. This is probably my favourite thing to make from wild forage foods. It's so simple and easy to make, and nothing like the stuff that comes in a jar from the supermarket. Roughly chop your garlic leaves in half or smaller sections. I've washed these as there was a lot of livestock on their leaves. Cube roughly half a packet of Italian hard cheese and grind it into a powder in a fine mixer. Parmesan or Grana Padano will do nicely. Do the same with about half a packet of cashews or whatever nuts you're going to use. Some pesto recipes state pine nuts should be used. That's fine if you don't mind paying the exorbitant rates for an overpriced nut. Cashews are fine. Then grind your nuts. Chuck the chopped leaves into the blender. Pour the finely grated cheese and nut mixture into the large blender. And whiz it all together. Pour a generous amount of a good quality olive oil into the mix. Don't be afraid to add some extra oil if it looks a bit stodgy. And of course sea salt, I almost forgot that. That's good. Look at the colour of that. Isn't that the greenest thing you ever saw? Decant the pesto into jars and keep it in the fridge. I reckon it should be good for about a week. You can pour a topping of olive oil over the mixture and that will keep it fresher for longer. But it won't keep indefinitely because it doesn't have any of those nasty preservatives in it. And that's precisely why it tastes so good. 100% natural goodness from the wild.